I know that visual may seem a little depressing, but truly we are wanting to help you out with your applications. And so we have some tips. What we did is we culminated the information that our experts and facilitators had provided at last year's grant information session. And then we talked amongst our team and thought a little bit about what are the kind of questions and roadblocks and challenges that we've seen in the past, and how can we highlight some quick tips and tricks for our application process. So I'm going to share a little bit of that with you, and again, I will be available afterwards, and certainly after this session, please contact me if you're struggling, or contact Sarah if you have any questions about our application process. So before you apply, ask the right questions. That could be asking questions and using a great tool that we just learned about earlier with the Designing Belonging game. I think, and I know a lot of you are asking it already because I've been happily discussing with you what the right fit would be for the projects that you have in mind and our grant streams. But think about how your project or your idea might align with our grant streams. Thinking about what is the need that's being served, or there's a gap that's being filled. We like to hear about that in the application process. What is the experience of the people that you're trying to respond to? And we're going to hear in a little bit about the importance of storytelling and being able to tell the story of the experience of the people that you're serving and the need that you're trying to fulfill. Think about what else is happening in the community. Is there a partnership that can take place? And perhaps you may have formed some of those partnerships or sparked some ideas with other organizations today. Is your work complementary? Is there an opportunity for collaboration? We talked about a new grant stream today with our barn raising grants that may be able to help you explore that collaboration more fully. How are you intending to impact the people that you're serving? And we do talk a lot about impact, and we've had more tools and in our question format in our applications around talking about your impact and how you're going to measure that. If you have any data or research that can help frame what you're trying to tackle, what are the needs for your services, that's really helpful as well to our grant reviewers. And if you can think about how to incorporate learning into the project. We're always really keen to learn together and learn through your experiences, and so how can you incorporate learning into the project is something important to reflect on as you're getting ready to complete your application. Start the pre-screen early. We introduced the pre-screen survey recently, and part of the purpose was to make sure that no one was getting into filling out a full application just to realize after the fact that it wasn't a match to the grant stream. So to help guide you to the right stream, to help you be set up for success as best as we can, we really encourage that you start your pre-screen early. It's not it's not a large form to complete, but it starts the conversation. We may have a little bit of feedback for you. And once you've got that pre-screen complete and we've taken a look at it, we will respond as quickly as we can so that we can open up the application for you. And so the earlier the pre-screen comes in, the earlier we can get that application open for you to complete. Use the tools. Not only did we talk about the belonging game today, but we have a goal builder that has been a great tool to help design projects and articulate the impact that you're looking to make in projects that will impact belonging. But a lot of the sort of questions and the format of that goal builder can be applied to other streams. So it helps you really to think about what you're trying to achieve, what will success look like, and how are you going to measure that. Make your financials count. Some organizations will have project budgets prepared by someone who's different than the person that's working closely with the program that you're applying for a grant for. They're different than the person that's writing the rest of the application. So really encourage to take a look before you submit and make sure that what you're articulating in the project description, what you're trying to achieve, aligns with what you're saying you need funding for and what the project budget is, because the budget really tells the story as well. We do need some other financial documentation, so your last year-end statements, approved statements, assuming your year-end has had there's some time that's passed, we will also need some interim financial statements just to see how you're tracking for the year so far. And then the project budget. And we're really thrilled to, in partnership with the University of Waterloo School of Accountancy and the David T. Carter Foundation, we've really been a proud partner to help upper year accounting students, they're guided, they're mentored by professional accountants, and they do the financial review for us. But it's just been a lovely partnership to help these University of Waterloo accounting students understand more about accounting in the nonprofit sector, and just help them understand more of what's happening out in their community. Don't try to do it all at once. So the system that we now use for your applications is called Blitzen, and Blitzen allows you to save your progress. It also allows you to either email the link to yourself or to bookmark it. And Sarah and I can happily walk you through that. If you're seeing the screen and you're not sure where all the functionality is, we can help you with that. But again, the earlier you get it started, it's kind of that whole, before you finish up the paper or send the email, sort of sleep on it. Give yourself a little bit of time to have a second review, and that, if you can, also means that if you have somebody that's a little bit more external to the project or even to your organization that you trust, to take a look at it. People that are outside of that immediate project can give you a sense of the kind of questions that our grants committee may ask as they're reading the application, because sometimes when we're really close to a project, or we've been in an organization for a while, we sort of develop our own jargon. Well, what does that mean to somebody who's external? How are they going to receive that information? So it's I think if you can have the time, I'd recommend having somebody else review it. You'll be able to drag and drop any attachments that you may have for your application, or you can upload it. But again, the system is intended to be more simple and user-friendly. They've been very flexible. The organization that we work with for this technology has been really flexible in making upgrades to their functionality. So if there's something that you find is tricky or a little bit of a barrier, please feel free to let Sarah and I know. And then plan ahead. You'll notice some of the deadlines. We've allowed you the weekend if you need some final touches to your application. But as dedicated as we are to the Community Foundation, we're not necessarily working at Sunday at 11 p.m. So we won't be able to help you necessarily with some last-minute challenges. So if you can, as soon as you can get through the application and connect with us if you're struggling, so that we don't have to deal with a challenge more after the deadline. Just a reminder, we're all learning together, and so we want to hear your feedback through the process. Stephen talked about it earlier and kicked off our day to say that we're on a journey to be more flexible and responsive, and to partner with the organizations that are making the impact in the community, and how can we help facilitate more of that work for you? Those are the kind of questions we're asking, and unless we hear from you what some of the challenges or opportunities are, we may not have all the answers.